and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Kevin Millar, we're all paying rent in Ohtani's world, right?
And the Dodgers world, game is healthy, game is good. And, I get asked a lot, is that good for baseball? Yeah, it's good for baseball. This is definitely the team to beat because that should be your next correction, Richie, is this World Series a bust for the Dodgers and Dave Roberts?
Hell yeah.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
And we are coming to you live from High Corbett Field, High C, here in Midtown Tucson. It is baseball night in Tucson. The Arizona Wildcats going to open up a 5-game homestand, and they will face the New Mexico State Aggies tonight in a game that will take place here at around 6 p.m. Baseball in the air, a little bit partly cloudy, a little bit of a drizzle in the air. Temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler than you'd like, but a chance for you to come out and see your Arizona baseball. is under 500 on the season. We want to talk to you today, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. If you're excited, if you're going to be out at the game tonight for Arizona baseball, what's always interesting about these series or these matchups against New Mexico State is we'll have a chance to see some local prepsters that play for the Aggies. In fact, 4 players on the Aggies roster prepped here in southern Arizona. We mentioned a couple of them yesterday. Romeo Basteros out of South Point Catholic High School, who also played up the road on West Anklam for Pima College for a couple of years, one of the leading hitters on this New Mexico State Aggies team. A very flamboyant, fiery, and fun player to watch for sure. Romeo Basteros coming home, and I know he's got to be extremely excited to have an opportunity to play this week here in Tucson. Thomas Teal, who we had a chance to see play for many years down in Nogales for those fine Nogales baseball teams under Oscar Favela Jr., he is now a freshman on this team, does not see a whole lot of playing time, only has 1 at-bat on the season in terms of the hitters, and then a couple of pitchers also out of southern Arizona. The primary pitcher that sees a lot of time is Sal Soto out of Sarita. He has appeared in 9 games this season for the New Mexico State Aggies with a 1-1 record, all in relief, a 3.75 earned run average. So always looking forward to seeing New Mexico State in town because of the local connections and the players that routinely go out of southern Arizona. Edward Martinez Pagani, another player out of Ponce, Puerto Rico, who also went to Sarita, is on this roster here for the New Mexico State Aggies. So always a lot of fun again to see those guys. Trajan Meza, another pitcher out of Sarita. So they got 3 players, in fact, from Sarita who are on this team here for New Mexico State that will play tonight. Again, first pitch is scheduled for 6. I should say there's a 4th. I forgot. Fernando Barita is also on the Aggies roster. So a lot of local talent. There'll be a lot of folks out here from southern Arizona. Looking forward to seeing them play tonight. All right, we got a lot in store for you today. Today is also the first day of U of A spring football over at the practice facility, the Davis Center. I'd imagine they're probably going to practice mostly indoors because of the threat of a little bit of a rain and some of the rain that we've had the last few days or so. But spring football starts today. We're going to let you hear from a couple of the coaches. In fact, we'll let you hear from both of the coordinators coming up today. Had a chance to chat with Dino Babers, who returns here, has coached here before, the most recent head coach at Syracuse for the Orange. He comes back now to take over the offensive side of the ball under Brent Brennan. And then, of course, Dwayne Aquina on the defensive side. We'll let you hear a little bit from Dwayne Aquina, always a fiery guy to hear talk, an educator in the game of football, as the Wildcats will have the first of their 15 spring practices. It'll go for 5 straight weeks this year, unnormally like in the past where we've seen the Wildcats have a break in between for spring break, but everything is after spring break this year. So there'll be 3 practices every week for the next 5 weeks. All of these practices, folks, are open to the public. In fact, practice gets underway at 3:45. So if you want to get out over to campus and have a chance to watch the Wildcats, 3:45 today, 3:45 Thursday, and then it'll be an afternoon practice. We'll give you the full schedule. In fact, we'll get that up on our website so you all can kind of have an idea of what times the practices are, and also go over to the Arizona Football Twitter page. I believe the practice on Saturday is at 10:15, so a chance to see the Wildcats. The spring game this year will be pretty much a month from today, a month from tomorrow, April 27th. That'll be a Saturday, and it'll be in the evening with a kickoff time scheduled for 6 o'clock. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. If you want to chat with us, we also are going to talk to Chip Hale. We'll have his conversation coming up in this hour, the head coach in his 3rd season with Arizona baseball. We'll get his thoughts on this team and where they are right now, sitting at 10-12. It's a young team. They've got some work to do if they want to put themselves in a position to potentially make the NCAA tournament. They are unranked coming into this weekend. They've got to quickly try to turn that around if they want to have a chance to continue playing past the end of May. Again, I'm out at High Corbett Field. We'll welcome in J.W. Madden, who is back in studio today. J-Dub, always great to get out to the ballpark for the first time this spring.
Yeah, I was just out there. It looked a little bit cloudy, but I think you guys are going to be okay. Always a great time of year. I mean, Tucson is synonymous with basketball, but baseball is a close second. Baseball's always been so big here in this community, and always love to see, High Corbett is such a great place to see a game. So if you're listening to DK's voice and you haven't been out to a game this year, you're missing out.
Yeah, Wildcats and Aggies tonight. They've played 68 times, have these two teams, dating all the way back to 1917. Arizona has won 60 of those 68 matchups. They've won 5 straight against New Mexico State. Their last loss coming back in 2019. These teams annually play sometimes twice a year, sometimes just once a year. This year they'll play twice a year. They'll play here in Tucson tonight, and then the Wildcats will return the favor and play at New Mexico State in about a month on a Wednesday, April the 24th. So a chance for these two teams to have a 2-game series coming into this particular season. So it's going to be a lot of fun out here. Also, we're going to give you a little bit of we got a new restaurant that's opened up here in Tucson. It's called Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar, and Sergio Pion is going to join us. Sergio is one of the folks. He's the general manager over there at Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. I don't know if you've had a chance to check it out, but we'll be joined by Sergio. He's going to chat with us at around 4 o'clock this evening, give us a little bit of an indication of what Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar is all about. So really looking forward to that. The Diamondbacks in Major League Baseball just wrapped up their final spring training game of the season. They beat the Cleveland Indians a game again today. How about this, J-Dub? Last night's game between the Diamondbacks and the Guards had to be stopped after 6 innings due to rain. And you wonder, well, wait a minute. Chase Field has a roof. How did a game at Chase Field get rained out? Well, the roof was open when the game started, and right now they've got a policy where they don't close the roof after the game has started.
Yeah. You think they'll change that once the season gets underway?
Well, apparently there's an issue with the roof that has not been repaired. Here we go back into things that need to be done at Chase Field. There's an issue with the roof and some of the cabling that's involved when you open and close the roof. So they've made the decision not to open or close it if there are people actually inside the building.
Got it. So it's actually like a danger because the cables, they haven't done it since 2002, apparently. It hasn't been closed in any games once the fans are in the building due to the issues with those cables.
Right. So, so they don't they don't want to mess with that if people are in the building. So once the roof is open, it's open. So,
safety first.
Absolutely. So the spring training is officially wrapped up now. The Major League season will start on Thursday. It'll be the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies opening up the season on Thursday at Chase Field. I would imagine if this weather stays the way that it's been all week, that they'll likely keep the roof closed for that particular ball game. So it's always interesting early in the year because April-May games are the only time you really get a chance to have the roof open at Chase Field. So it's always fun. I don't know if you've ever been to a game. Have you been to a game early in the year, J-Dub, when the roof is
spring?
open?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever been to a spring game up there, no.
No, just an April or a May game, regular season?
Well,
no?
That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a game this early in the season.
It's actually really, really nice to be in that park when not only do they have the roof open, but they've got those panelings that are out in the outfield, and those are open so you can kind of look out onto to downtown Phoenix. But again, that only happens very early in the season, usually April and May.
Yeah,
so you've got to get to a game early on the campaign for that to get a chance to experience that.
Cricket and I are very familiar with April and May weather in Arizona. We're natives.
Yes.
Cricket, have you ever been to a game at Chase Field? Have you ever been to a baseball game there?
I have not. No.
No. Okay. Well, see, that's another. Hey, J-Dub, add that to the list.
To the very
The
long
list.
My
list.
pen ran out of ink.
Yeah, he's out of paper. He's out of ink in his pen. So do they usually leave the roof open for like concerts at Chase Field?
Well, it's interesting you say that because my wife went, and I'm trying to remember who she went and saw in October. She went to the Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Yeah,
that was a
and
big
the
one.
roof was open for Billy Joel in October. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
there's
I
not
mean,
too
yeah, as
bad.
long as it's not 150 degrees, they usually will open the like I said, they'll open it at this time of year for baseball up until usually like maybe May when it starts to get warm again, and then in the fall for concerts. I think they may have actually had it. Now it was closed the night that we went for the National League Championship Series, and I'm not sure if it was open for any of the World Series games or not. But yeah, as long as the temperature is cooperating, then the roof can be open.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, it only takes about 5 minutes to open and close, right?
I would think it's longer than that.
Well, that's what
I
I'm
think
reading.
I think it's close. I thought it was closer to 20 minutes, but I could be wrong on that.
Well, it says
Dang.
open and close in just over 4 minutes is what it says here.
Oh, wow,
But
okay,
my
so-
question is not that. My question is how long does it take to empty the building and then bring everybody back
Bring
in
everybody
again?
back.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
That's
Well,
not feasible.
No,
so.
I don't think you could. Yeah, that would be an
Nightmare.
undertaking. That would be more of an undertaking than opening and closing the roof.
Yes.
All right, Cricket is with us. She is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather. Together with new collisions just reported Valencia west of I-19, Valencia and Calle Santa Cruz, also Tucson Boulevard north of 6th Street. Crashes that are clearing, Craycroft and Speedway, also at Cold Road and Tanque Verde, and some slowing at the intersection of Colb and Tanque Verde. Pretty good chance of rain this afternoon around 4 and 5, 45 the overnight low, 65 tomorrow with a chance of rain, and 65 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
What makes 1290 different than any other radio station in Tucson? 1290 is the home of
Is that the game has evolved? Why have catchers gone to that? Is it better on the body from that standpoint?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. It just has to be with being able to present the pitch to the umpire. The ability to steal strikes. That was the big thing when it started. Is guys were so good at on one knee at bringing the ball back in the zone, and umpires were getting fooled. And it's just the way it is. And some guys are frustrated by it. It's a little tougher to throw from. But we allow our guys to do it with guys on base to be very alert, because you can get stuck and not be able to get up and throw.
U of A baseball coach Chip Hale is our guest. You made some changes in the offseason on the pitching side, brought in Keith Vance and John DeRowan. What have they kind of added to this?
Yeah, well, it's Kevin Vance. Sorry. Kevin is when we went out and looked, we had to make that change. It was a tough one to make. We went and looked at a number of guys, and one of the things we looked at was the culture that he created, and he's created a different culture here. It's a toughness. It's not giving in. Obviously they're going to throw a lot of breaking balls. You look at his numbers at Boston College; they threw the most breaking balls in the country. He's going to lean on what they do best. So our pitchers were really drilled hard. They came together as a group. It was tough. It was tough on our hitters. Our hitters had a hard time in the preseason and the fall. It was kind of a flip of the past. We really lit it up on the offensive side. This year, it's been a little tougher for him against our own pitchers. So he just created a really nice culture.
Yeah, and you look at that. I mean, I guess from your standpoint, it has to be somewhat frustrating because you've had really good pitching on Friday and Saturday nights. You just can't get the runs on those.
100%. There's too many one-run games that are getting away from us, and I take that on myself. We always talk about it, coaching, managing, whether it's in the big leagues or in college, and you sort of when those games are that close, it kind of comes down to what we decide to do. We just haven't executed. We're a little young on the offensive side of the ball, and I think we're starting to figure out, hey, if we do this right, we can win those one-run games. So we'll see how it comes tonight. We'll see how it comes this weekend against UCLA.
Garen Caulfield, man, what a job he has done with the jump average-wise at the plate. What have you seen from there here, and what has allowed him to take that jump from 220s up to 380s?
Yeah, I mean, I think he obviously our first year here, he played second for us. He was really dynamic with the bat. And then last year, he just ran into it's weird to say, but a lot of bad luck. I mean, if you look at his exit velocity, a lot of the analytics that we look at now, they were good last year. He just couldn't get anything to fall. And so he just took a deep breath. Toby DeMello's worked really hard with him at just calming down and, letting the game come to him a little more. And if he lines out 2 or 3 times, it doesn't frustrate him. Where last year, it kind of got in his head.
I remember we had a chance to hear from Anthony Susak earlier this year, and one of the hitters he had pointed out was Richie Morales, and you made a little bit of a change this weekend, moving him to the top of the order. What went into that?
Yeah, well, his on-base percentage is through the roof. He gives us good at-bats. He can really hit with 2 strikes. We loved Brendan Summerhill in that spot. He was just having a hard time. He was swinging early. He was really getting out of his game. So we kind of moved him in the middle of the lineup, let him kind of take a breath. And Richie's kind of gone and done a good job. So it's just like anything else in baseball. When you get in there and you do something well, we're going to keep letting you play.
And it looked like it worked out for Brendan on Sunday with a career-high 7 RBIs.
No, he's been able to, like I said, to take that breath and work on some things he needs to work on. And that's what we're talking about. We're young. We're going to go through these weird spots. We're going to face some pitchers that are going to baffle us a little bit. And we have to make those adjustments a little quicker than we have been in the past.
I mentioned Anthony Susak. What have kind of been behind his struggles? He has not been able to perform at the level we've seen in the past.
Yeah, it's just been tough. He had the one really bad start against USD, and like we've talked about, our pitching has been so good that Cam Walty got in there on that Sunday start after that and just has taken off. And like we just said about the hitting part, we're going to keep going with it. So Tonko's had to go and start on these Tuesdays and give us 2-3 innings, and we have to make a decision: do we want to put him in the bullpen for the weekend? We kind of like it. These are important games. New Mexico State's playing well. The Grand Canyons we play, ASU on the weekdays. They're important games. So to have 4 legitimate starters is pretty cool.
Chip Hale joining us, the head coach of Arizona baseball. When you look at the remodels that have gone into this stadium, what do you like? What do the players like about some of the things that have been added to this facility to make it more comfortable for them?
Yeah, we've been blessed. Terry Francona donated the money to build the hitting center. It's been fantastic. We're in the midst of putting a pitching lab in the back of the hitting cage. It's going to be dynamic. We've got a Kinetrack system now in the stadium that is off the charts. Seeing in-game video when we're done, we can really break guys down and really look at the analytics that they're doing and some of the movement prep that we've done. And then, the clubhouse is fantastic. We got a brand new training room, brand new lounge, brand new equipment room. It's pretty exciting. And when we bring recruits in, they're very impressed.
You managed against Tito. What's it like now to maybe collaborate with him in this respect to try to raise this program?
Yeah, I think, he's having a really good time, just being retired. We've left him alone for a little bit, let him have his time. I know he's really excited about the run that our basketball team is on. He goes to those games, and we're letting that kind of go and just give him a little break. And then we're going to sit down this offseason and really talk to him on what he thinks, the changes we need to make in the stadium with the program. A guy who's had as much success as he has, it's good to get his advice.
When you faced him as a manager, what was difficult about managing against teams that he was leading?
Well, they never panicked. He was very calm, and his players showed that. You could be ahead of them. They never quit. And you knew that there was going to be some sort of a run at it. There was no magic, I think, to it. He just has such a good way with players, and the culture that he creates in that clubhouse. I think they play above their talent. That was the greatest comment I could make about his teams is, they were always better than the talent they had.
Okay, as we move forward into this Pac-12 season, where are some of the immediate areas you want to see improvement from your team?
It's really offense, execution. I think if we can continue, the pitching, getting the starts we're getting the bullpen work we're getting, I think we'll be in really good shape. We just have to score. It's tough to win with 2 or 3 runs. We're going to have to score 4 or 5, especially in our ballpark.
Do you like managing those low-scoring games? I mean, we don't see a lot of those in college baseball.
I enjoy it. I mean, it's fun for me because there's more stuff to do. There's bunts on and hit and runs, and there's defensively there's a little more pressure. It's exciting. I love to manage them run the game when we win them.
And lastly, Mason White making the transition to shortstop. How's that gone?
He's been great. We just talked about it today. He's one of our best hitters. Obviously, he's got a really good future in the game. And playing shortstop is a tough deal. At any level, you're the captain out there. There's no bobbling the ball. You got to catch it clean, make good, strong throws to first. And we've been very impressed with his work at shortstop, and we continue to get better and better that way.
All right, Chip, looking forward to seeing this program grow under your leadership.
Thank you so much.
Chip Hale, the manager or head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. The good news is that the offense has been improving. The Wildcats are now hitting 280 as a team, and they're striking out a lot less than they were at the beginning of the season. You'll remember a couple weeks ago we talked about, they had some games. They had 3 out of, I think, 4 or 5 games where they struck out 19 times. But guess what, folks? They're not even at the top of the Pac-12 in that respect. Those numbers have gone way down over the course of the last few weeks. I mean, there was a stretch where they were striking out 16 times a game. Now that number has been cut in half to around 8 times a game. The Wildcats are 7th in the Pac-12. There are 6 other teams that have struck out more than the Arizona Wildcats this season. So that is a good thing in terms of this offense. We talked about, you heard us mention Mason White there, the shortstop out of South Point Catholic High School, who's having a very, very good start to the season. Mason hitting .318. He has 8 home runs, which is tops on this club. 29 RBIs, which is also tops on this club. His 8 home runs are 1 shy of tying the Arizona single-season home run record for shortstops during what is known as the Stat Crew era. So this goes back to 1998. So he is already about to put himself in a pretty special place in terms of home runs. He's second in the Pac-12 right now with those 29 RBIs I mentioned, tied for third in the Pac-12 with those 8 home runs is Mason White. And I mentioned he has moved this year from second base to shortstop. We'll hear from Mason coming up a little bit later on the adjustments that he has made in that respect. Another hot hitter for Arizona. In fact, the best hitter so far this season is Garen Caulfield, the second baseman. He wears number 1 if you're coming out to the ballpark. Garen is hitting .381 to start the season. This is coming off a season in which we talked about there with Chip Hale that he hit .229 for this team. So he has raised his average over 150 points so far this year. Garen Caulfield talked about the mindset he's taking into this season after last year hitting just .229.
I think last year for me was definitely a hard year, but that being said, like, I learned a lot about myself, and I think going out and kicking ass in the summer helped me a lot mentally to get back to kind of my thought process and my routines that made me good and able to play here. So I think just kind of refocusing and resetting the mentality and getting back out there this year. It's a new year and a new opportunity.
That's Garen Caulfield. I want to correct some numbers that I actually was looking at the pitching numbers earlier for the Pac-12 in terms of the strikeouts. The Wildcats so far are actually second. I said they were 7th. They are actually second right now in strikeouts in the Pac-12 conference. USC leads offensively in that category. So the Wildcats, although bringing those numbers down, still ranking second offensively in strikeouts in the Pac-12. It'll be Arizona and New Mexico State here tonight at High Corbett Field. Head on out to the ballpark. First pitch is coming up at 6 o'clock. The probable starter tonight is Anthony Susak, Tonko, as he is known, and we will hear from Tonko coming up a little bit later. He struggled this year, 0-1 in 5 games, 4 starts with an ERA of 9.82. Opponents right now are hitting almost 400 off Anthony Susak, so we'll hear from Tonko coming up a little bit later on some of the hopes that he has for this season. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Baseball night here in Tucson, but first here's cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Collisions eastbound I-10 at the Valencia off-ramp, Ina and Camino de la Tierra. Some backups on westbound Ina approaching and passing Camino de la Tierra. Oracle and Fort Lowell, Valencia west of I-19, Valencia and Calle Santa Cruz. Colb Road and Tanque Verde, and also Craycroft and Speedway. We do have a pretty good chance of rain, around 4 and 5 today, 45 our overnight low, 65 the high tomorrow with a chance of rain, and at 65 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Offer ends 4/6. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
Did you know that the Chevy Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size truck in Arizona? Did you know that O'Reilly Chevrolet has the largest selection of trucks in the valley? Now you do.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio, with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
Southern Arizona Radiology Associates have been dedicated to providing superior images and quality care for the last 35 years. They're the one you trust when you need an X-ray, CT scan, ultrasound, mammogram, or MRI. They have locations in Tucson, Green Valley, and Sierra Vista. Ask your doctor to refer you to Southern Arizona Radiology Associates today. That's Southern Arizona Radiology Associates. Visit their website at sararadiology.com or call 520-335-6849 for more information.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers.
It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Don't miss out on any pregame insight.
That's a little bit of what I want to see out of Boswell. Get Keyshawn to set him a back screen or something. Get him on a couple easy layups to kind of get him going a little bit.
Off the glass and good. A pretty shot for Kylan Boswell.
We go on 4 hours before every men's basketball game.
I always tell guys, let the coach take you in and out the game. Don't take yourself out. Stay aggressive. Don't hunt your shots, but if the shots are open, you take them.
DK, Kelvin, and J Dubs on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's no contest, Tucson. You're listening to the home of the Arizona Wildcats. That's why 1290 runs this town. This is the one and only home of your Arizona Wildcats.
And you know this, man.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We're at High Corbett Field. Arizona baseball taking on New Mexico State. First pitch coming up at 6 o'clock. Anthony Tonko Susak will be on the mound. 0-1 on the season. A .982 earned run average. We'll hear from Anthony coming up a little bit later. We were talking in the last segment about the outstanding young shortstop out of South Point Catholic, Mason White. In fact, that may be the story tonight. We're going to get a chance to see the last two outstanding shortstops out of South Point Catholic High School, Mason White and Romeo Ballesteros, who plays for the New Mexico State Aggies. And in terms of Mason White, again, off to a great start to his sophomore campaign, hitting .318 with 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in. He has moved over from second base to take over at shortstop now that Nick McClary has moved on to professional baseball. And his new mate on the middle infield, Garen Caulfield, who now slides into second base. And Caulfield talked about Mason White's development.
I think he just has a really good feel for his swing. You know, it's pretty unique compared to a lot of college-level hitters. And just watching him go about his business in the cages every day and how he translates it to on-the-field success is pretty impressive to me.
Mason White now for his career hitting .314, 18 home runs. He hit 10 last year. He has 8 this season. Again, has moved from second base to shortstop. Talked about making that adjustment.
It's an adjustment. I mean, I played short when I came here, and then I had to slide over, obviously. But it's an adjustment, and I'm working on it every day. So I think I'm getting better every single day. And
how's your arm? I guess you were a little banged up in the fall.
Yeah, we're back to 100%. So we're playing every day, and it's great.
As a hitter, where do you want to improve?
I want to improve in chase rate. I'm chasing a lot, and I always have struggled with that. So I think I need to tighten up the zone and swing it more of my pitches rather than their pitches. And I think I can see a lot of improvement in doing that.
Mason White, just looking at the defensive numbers, has 7 errors on the season, so a fielding percentage of .920. He played this summer in the prestigious Cape Cod League. Now, if you know a little bit about the Cape Cod League up on Martha's Vineyard, it is a wood bat league, which is much different than obviously what these guys deal with during the regular season, during the regular college season when they're playing with an aluminum bat. But a great opportunity for Mason to go up and play against some of the top talent. I mean, it is the top summer league, always has been, probably always will be, the top summer baseball league for collegiates. And Mason spoke about how difficult it is to perform in that environment.
It was a tough place to hit. You can ask Aaron about it. He had a better summer than I did, but it was a tough place. I learned a lot. I definitely got off that plane coming back here as a different person, a different human. It was a fun place, but I struggled. But I think I came back in the fall and learned what I had struggled on there and fine-tuned it here, and now we're back to playing college baseball with my school, and I think I'm better for it.
Could you ever see a point where, like, college baseball used wood bats instead of metal? And if there would be an advantage to that?
I honestly don't know. The Cape is such a tough place to hit, just with the lights and the backdrops and the way the ball flies. It's so much different than here. So it's a different game. I think it'd be more like a pro game, honestly, but.
Yeah, he mentioned Garen Caulfield was also in the Cape Cod League this year, and Garen had a really good summer. He was, in fact, a Cape Cod League All-Star playing for the Wareham Gatemen. J-Dub, have you seen many baseball movies? There was a popular movie that came out a number of years ago about the Cape Cod League that featured the now wife of one Justin Timberlake. It was called Summer Catch. It also featured Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know if did you ever see that movie? It's back from like about 2001.
I don't think I'm the target audience. No, I did not. I did not see that one.
Yeah, it was a fun movie about a kid who goes to the Cape Cod League.
Was there summer love involved?
Oh, well, there was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So it was like a rom-com, basically. Yeah.
It was a rom-com. It was absolutely a baseball romantic comedy in the likes of Bull Durham, but only on the Cape Cod League versus the Carolina League, which was the basis of Bull Durham. And Freddie Prinze is kind of the wayward pitcher. He comes from kind of a bad family, but he's got some talent, and he goes to Cape Cod League and he gets in trouble, but then he gets a job cutting grass for this rich family, and of course he meets the daughter of the rich family and they fall in love and that whole thing. And at the end of the movie, of course, he makes it to the big leagues pitching for the Phillies. And the first pitch he tosses in the Phillies for the Phillies in the big leagues gets hit for a home run.
Sure.
But it's a fun movie. Fun baseball.
That's like
type of movie.
The plots of Titanic and Dirty Dancing and quite a lot of other movies from that era.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. We'll hear from more of your Wildcats as we move through the show today. Also, it is the first day of Arizona football camp, so spring camp. We'll hear from Dwayne Aquina as well as Dino Babers. And obviously the Wildcat men's basketball team is leaving today to head to Los Angeles for the Sweet 16. We will begin our coverage of that tomorrow with the press conferences. I believe the Wildcats will practice in the mid-afternoon. They will have their press conference before that sometime in the 1 o'clock hour tomorrow. So we'll have all that for you. Tommy Lloyd and the guys got some kids out here playing catch. There's nothing like a catch to get you excited about baseball here in Arizona. Spring training is over. The Major League season is about to start. In fact, let's get in a Diamondbacks download.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff!
All right, a lot happening with your D-backs as they begin this 2024 season, a season removed from making the World Series for just the second time in franchise history. Now, yesterday we told you, in fact, one of our callers broke a little news on the show that we were not aware of, and that was that there's an injury to closer Paul Sewald. Sewald came to the Diamondbacks in a trade from the Seattle Mariners at the deadline last season and was absolutely nails down the stretch. Really solidified a bullpen that was the issue for the majority of the first 3.5 months of the season and allowed the Diamondbacks to make the playoffs as a wild card team, beat the Brewers, beat the Dodgers, get to the NLCS, knock off the Phillies, and get to the World Series. Well, unfortunately, Paul Sewald has a grade 2 oblique strain, as it was announced by manager Toy Lavello yesterday. We also had a chance to hear from Paul Sewald on this injury, the first of his career.
Disappointing, frustration. This is the first time in my career I've been on the IL, so that's really disappointing. So, to miss opening day is going to be disappointing, but it's better than maybe in the middle of the season or in September. I guess that's how I'm trying to look at it. I'm going to do everything I can to be back as quick as possible, whenever that will be. My goal is to, whenever I do come back, this will be in the past and we won't worry about it.
Last year, Sewald made 65 appearances with the Mariners and the D-backs. He had a 3.12 ERA, 80 strikeouts in 60 and 2/3 innings. That's a pretty good strikeout to 9 innings ratio. Over the last 3 seasons, he has struck out 256 batters, over 189 and a third innings, with an ERA of 2.95. So what happens now? Well, in all likelihood, it's going to be the Arizona Wildcat, Kevin Ginkel, who was so trusted in that setup role. He and Ryan Thompson at the back end of that season last year that allowed the Wildcats to get to the World Series. Ginkel will likely slide in, although Torey Lavello has not necessarily come out and said that to this point. You've also got Miguel Castro back there, Joe Mantiply, who just 2 seasons ago was an all-star. Scott McGuff, who got off to a great start last year, but then kind of slid down the chain towards the end of the season. Bryce Jarvis, the son of Kevin Jarvis, a former Diamondback, is a guy that could potentially be in a long relief role. And then Andrew Saalfrank, who we saw a little bit towards the end of the season and in the postseason, is another guy who could potentially add to the depth in that Diamondbacks bullpen as we begin the season. And it will begin on Thursday night at home against the Colorado Rockies to start the 2024 campaign. Now, we did not necessarily get the closer from Torey Lavello today, but Torey Lavello did announce his starting lineup, his starting rotation, I should say, in terms of this season. And here is the rotation for the Diamondbacks to start the year. It's going to be Zach Gallen as your ace. No surprises there. Merrill Kelly, your number 2. Tommy Henry, number 3. Brandon Pfaadt, the rookie, who came up last year, struggled in May and June, was sent back down, came back up, pitched not too badly in the postseason. Brandon Pfaadt, the number 1 overall prospect in the Diamondbacks chain, at least last season he was. He will be your number 4 starter, and then Ryan Nelson will be the number 5 pitcher in the rotation. No surprise, Gallen, Kelly, and Pfaadt were expected to have slots. There was an injury to Eduardo Rodriguez, who thought might be the guy that would pencil in as well to the rotation, but he is on the injured list right now. Henry and Nelson were kind of in a competition for the number 5 spot, but obviously with the injury to Rodriguez, both of them are now in the rotation. Bryce Jarvis likely to be the long man out of the bullpen. This will be his first full season in the major leagues for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So Gallen will start on opening day Thursday night. It'll be the second opening day for him, second in a row. Last year he started opening day at Dodger Stadium. This will be the first time he'll get a chance to start opening day at home as an Arizona Diamondback. I mean, baseball, folks, it is here. And it's here a little bit earlier than we're used to. We're usually not I can remember years, J-Dub, where Major League Baseball would start on a Monday, and it was the same day as the national championship game, which is still a week and a half away, but it seems like it's getting earlier and earlier every year, and it gets going on Thursday in March this year. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. That's we're going to have much more coming up for you in the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to talk some food, in fact, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Sergio Pignon from Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar is going to join us. We'll find out a little bit about this new hotspot here in California, or I should say in Tucson, Arizona. Find out if it's a place that's going to really soothe your hunger here as we get into the summer months. Folks are starting to pull up here at High Corbett Field because we've got baseball tonight. It is the Wildcats and the New Mexico State Aggies tonight here. 6 o'clock, first pitch, Anthony Suzak on the mound for your Cats. It's DK on the Sports Tip with J.W. Madden and Cricket. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Near the U of A at Campbell and Speedway, traffic signals malfunctioning. Some backups at the intersection of Speedway and Campbell. Crashes clearing eastbound I-10, the Valencia off-ramp, Ina and Camino de la Tierra. Oracle in Fort Lowell, Valencia west of I-19 at Calle Santa Cruz, and also Cold Road in Tanque Verde. Do have a chance of showers this afternoon, 45 the overnight low, 65 the high tomorrow with a chance of rain again tomorrow, and is 65 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad those arch supports are in my shoes.
Go to the Good Feet store at 4811 East Grant Road or at goodfeet.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats football radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Celebrate the grand opening of Champ's Kitchen and Bar with exclusive $5 specials now through April 8th. Score $5 pizzas, $5 burgers, and $5 pitchers. Catch all the action at Champ's Kitchen and Bar at 7625 North La Jolla Boulevard before it's too late.
It's no contest, Tucson. You're listening to the home of the Arizona Wildcats. That's why 1290 runs this town. This is the one and only home of your Arizona Wildcats.
And you know this, man!
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rock & K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in-ready homes and special incentives. Live rockandk.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
And we are coming to you from High Corbett Field here in Tucson. It is baseball night in Arizona. The Wildcats getting set to take on the New Mexico State Aggies. Looking forward to a little baseball in our lives tonight. First pitch coming up at 6 o'clock, so head on out to the ballpark. A lot of kids out here already have their gloves and everything. So that's it's always great to see kids and gloves out at the ballpark. We want to talk some food right now, though. There is a fabulous new restaurant that has opened up here in the Tucson area. It is called Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar, and we're pleased to be joined by Sergio Pinon from Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. Sergio, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much. Here with me as well as Roy Martin, my partner. We both opened up this new restaurant here at the north side of Tucson, Orange Grove and Oracle Corner.
Okay, so Sergio, you're the GM, and I understand Rory is your top chef. Is that correct?
Yes, he's the executive chef.
Okay, outstanding. So what's the concept behind this restaurant and why you guys decided to open it here in Tucson?
Yeah, well, we basically, put together a bunch of all my favorite foods that I love and classic, approachable stuff people are really familiar with, things like, smash burgers, street tacos, and wings. And we just want to do our own little twist on it, do them as scratch as possible, use high-quality ingredients, and bring a great product people would love out here in Tucson.
All right, so guys, Rory, I know a lot of people probably don't know what scratch means. Explain that concept.
Well, we're pretty much back here doing all the work, making almost everything. We're peeling chilies and we're roasting and peeling chilies. We're roasting corn and cutting it off the cob for the street corn. We're making all the dressings, making all the sauces, smashing the smash burgers by hand, stuff like that. And the few items that we aren't making ourselves, like the tortillas, the bread, we partner up with other local businesses around here. Mendez Bakery, we get excellent bread and corn tortillas from there. Linda's, we get the flour tortillas from them. We use Maya tea for some of our beverages. So Presta Coffee, we get excellent coffee there. So that's kind of the whole mentality is either we make it ourselves or we get it somewhere great.
All right, so you said smash burger. Is there more to a smash burger than just you smashing it up by your hands?
Well, we actually use, it's funny, we use a tortilla press to smash it real thin. And then, I think a smash burger is better than one of those bigger, thick ones because it just gives you more room to stack, cheese in between them and stuff. So you get a nice hot flat top, you season it up real good, you get this great crust on that burger, and then, you can get layers of different cheese and toppings and just excellent flavors.
We're talking with Sergio Pinon and Rory. I did not get your last name. What's your last name?
Martin, Rory Martin.
Rory Martin. Now, how did you guys meet?
We worked together for a big company. We worked together for the past 12 years, and we built a great relationship. We work really well together, and we both have the ambition and the dream of opening up our own restaurant, and we're able to make that happen last December 11th when we first opened our doors for the community, offering great food, great cocktails. We have a great happy hour going on right now. People can order online. They can order delivery as well with using the third delivery partnerships. We have a long run working together.
Okay, so now did you guys start working together in food, or was this another business you guys worked together?
We worked together in the restaurant, so we already kind of knew everything about each other, how one another is in that kind of environment, and I just knew that it would work well, if we got out there and did our own thing, and it was that time in our lives, take that leap and bring our twist on our great food to the community.
It's called Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. It's located at 6444 North Oracle Road here in Tucson. And I believe, Rory, you said you guys have been open since mid-December. How have things gone since you've opened? What's been the response here in Southern Arizona?
I mean, so far it's been great. Another thing about that address, it is the old Swenson's location. A lot of people may remember it. It was Swenson's Ice Cream there for about 30 years. I actually used to go there with my grandpa and watch the train around the ceiling, and we even kept a piece of the train up in the ceiling as like a little trophy for all the old school customers. But yeah, so far it's been great. So I mean, we're excited. We've got great response from the community. And I think the Northwest side needed some fresh, new, scratch-made, excellent food, and people seem to be enjoying it.
So now, where did the Redbird come from?
We initially were thinking about doing like a sports bar scenery. So obviously, the Cardinals, we thought about the Cardinals right off the bat. Eventually, we kind of fade away from the sports bar, and we wanted to bring an elevated bar experience. A lot of times you go to a bar and the food might be good, but the service is not that great, or the service might be great, but the food is not that good. So we wanted to make sure we elevate it using classic comfort food that people are familiar with.
All right, so now obviously, I guess, as somebody that works in sports, I've got to ask this question. When you say Redbird, are you talking about Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, or Redbird, St. Louis Cardinals?
Arizona Cardinals all the way. I'm a big Cardinals fan. I've been a huge fan since about 7th grade, even though they've always pretty much been terrible. And they tricked us in 2007 like we were going to win the Super Bowl, and we didn't. But I bleed red for the Redbirds always. Yeah, go Cardinals.
Now, I do see some. I'm looking at a few pictures. I do see some TVs in there, so you can still go and watch sports there, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's not, we don't have the sound on, so it's not going to be overwhelming. But if somebody wants to catch a game after work, over the weekend on a Sunday, will definitely be, you'll be able to watch the game anytime when they're playing.
So now, you guys will have the Arizona basketball game on Thursday, so if folks want to come up and check you guys out on Thursday to watch the game?
Absolutely. We've been playing all the games. Anytime the Wildcats play, any college game that's been going on, we got them going on right now.
Sergio Pinon and Rory Martin from Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar are joining us. It's a new spot up on the north side, up on North Oracle at the old Swenson's on the, I believe that's the east side of the block. So talk to me about the drinks. What kind of special drinks you guys got going on up there?
We have a craft cocktail list, so we make a lot of the syrups in-house. We use high-quality liquors as well. Nothing, that's not going to be high quality. We do offer a happy hour 7 days a week. We have a late happy hour as well from 8 p.m. to close. And you're going to get some really good Redbird margaritas, Redbird old fashions. We smoke them tableside as well, so you get a nice smoked cocktail at the table. A lot of great things.
So in terms of the atmosphere there, is it family-friendly? People can come with their kids?
Definitely family friendly. We actually have a super fun kids menu too, with word searches and mazes and coloring and all that. A really affordable, great kids menu. I think it's one of the better values I've seen. It's under $10. You get like a cheeseburger, fries, and fruit, or there's some other options on there: mac and cheese, quesadillas, a couple things. Definitely family friendly, and that was kind of part of the idea too. Is we know there's a lot of families out there, and it's not real pretentious or over the top in there. It's definitely made for just coming out on a Sunday afternoon or something, bring the family out and get some great high quality food and drink.
And what restaurants did you guys kind of train in? Like, what places did you guys work here? Both of you are from here, went to high school here, and where did you guys work kind of to get your restaurant background?
Well, actually, I started right up the street from here at Mr. On, with Sakura up there. And then our time together, I don't want to plug our last spot too much, but I worked for Firebirds up at La Encantada for 17 years, and that's where Sergio and I worked together for 12 years there.
Wow.
So steakhouse is what a lot of our experience is.
So then you guys were kind of in the back kind of talking about, well, this is how we would do it if we were owning our own restaurant. Was that kind of how it all started?
Hey, I mean, honestly, we learned a ton of great things from them, and, you take the great from them and you move on and try to make your own great spot. So absolutely, yeah, I learned a lot from them.
We're talking with Sergio Pignon and Rory Martin from Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. It's a new hotspot restaurant here in Tucson. It is up on Oracle, 6444 North Oracle Road in the old Swenson's location. Now, so where do you guys see this in 5 to 10 years?
We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We've been open for a little more than 3 months. So far, people like it. Obviously, the dream is to be able to expand and open maybe a couple more locations in Tucson. But, so far right now, we're just focusing on providing really good food, really great service, making sure that the community enjoys being part of our restaurant.
So when you guys, I always like to ask this to folks that open restaurants and bars. What are your foremost principles when it comes to customer service and how you train your people to interact with the public?
Main thing is how you make people feel. I think anybody that walks into a restaurant already expects really good food and really good service. But it's about the value that you get from it, the feeling of it. I believe nowadays everybody wants an experience, and we have a lot of little details throughout the whole experience. Like it's just going to make it memorable. It's going to make it feel like it's valuable. It's very important for us to make sure that everybody that walks into our doors feel that everything that, that they experience has a lot of value.
Let folks know what your hours are. You guys are open what time of days?
We are open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, we are open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay, so it's not like a late night spot or anything like that, but you do have happy hour, and happy hour is what, 5 to 7, 4 to 6?
Happy hour is going to be Sunday through Thursday from 3 p.m. To 5 p.m., and then pretty much every day 8 p.m. to close.
8 p.m. to close is happy hour.
Yeah, so we have a late happy hour as well. So we have 2 offerings throughout the day.
Oh, that's my kind of spot. I like late happy hours because we work here till 6 o'clock. And folks, let the folks know what the website is if they want to check out your menu and all of that.
Absolutely, it's redbirdrestaurants.com.
I'm sorry, one more time.
redbirdrestaurants.com.
redbirdrestaurants.com. It's Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar, 6444 North Oracle Road. Check it out. It is one of the new hot spots here in the Tucson area. Hey, Sergio, Rory, continued success with this new endeavor. We look forward to getting up there and checking out your guys' spot.
Thanks so much for having us on.
Thank you so much.
Sergio Pignon, Rory Martin, Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. JW, you have worked in a number of places. I know you probably know how difficult it is to get something like that off the ground.
Sorry, DK. Hold on. I'm on that phone really quick.
Oh, sorry. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. We are out here at High Corbett Field getting you set for Arizona and New Mexico State. Baseball tonight. First pitch coming up at 6 o'clock this evening. Wildcats enter with a record of 10-12 on the season. They are 4-5 in the Pac-12. Obviously, this is a non-conference game. Wildcats still have a number of non-conference games left to play. New Mexico State here at home this Tuesday. New Mexico, the Lobos at home next Tuesday. They will also actually play Stanford in a non-conference game this year. We've seen Chip Hill do a little bit of this in his scheduling, looking for a fourth game on some of these road trips for Arizona, similar to they went to Los Angeles on the first Pac-12 leg to take on USC, and they scheduled and played Loyola Marymount on a Monday game. Well, they could not find another opponent to play the fourth game on the Cal trip, so they're going to play against Stanford on that Monday. So that'll be a game that'll be played at in Palo Alto, but it'll be played as a non-conference game. Louisiana Tech will actually come to town. That'll be a 3-game non-conference series. The Wildcats will also play play twice against Grand Canyon this year. They'll go up and play the Antelopes in Phoenix on April the 16th, and then the Lopes will come down here and play on Tuesday, April the 30th. The trip to New Mexico State we mentioned earlier, that'll be on Wednesday, April the 28th, and that'll wrap up the non-conference part of the season. Arizona will finish. Well, actually, they'll play the one non-conference game against Arizona State that they play annually. That will be on Tuesday, May the 7th, up in Tempe. Arizona State won 2 out of 3 here, so the Wildcats will need to win that game to at least get a split in the Territorial Cup Series, provided the two teams don't come up against each other in the Pac-12 tournament, which will be in Scottsdale, and that will be on April the 21st through the 25th. All right, much more coming up for you. Hi, Corbett Field. We got some dark clouds that are starting to resonate here. Looks like there might be some rain in the distance, so we'll keep an eye on that as we move forward. Cricket will keep you as abreast of the traffic and the weather, as she does every 20 minutes on the Fives.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. At Speedway in Campbell, traffic signals malfunctioning, some slowing at that intersection, Campbell and Speedway. Got other wrecks reported and clearing Ina and Camino de la Tierra, also eastbound I-10 Valencia. Off-ramp, some slowing on westbound Valencia approaching I-19, backups at Ajo and Mission, southbound and westbound. More slowing southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. There's a chance of rain this afternoon into the evening, 45 the low, 65 the high tomorrow with a chance of rain again.
1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. In fact, why don't you text app? Text app to 520-848-1290. I will send you a link. You can download our app and take it wherever you want to go and stay in tune with everything that is going on in terms of sports here in the state of Arizona. We cover everything. We've got your Wildcats covered. We've got your Aztecs covered. We've got your Diamondbacks covered, your Cardinals, your Coyotes, your Suns. We've got it all covered. In fact, we'll get to your Suns coming up here a little bit later as well, because they had a bad, I guess you could categorize it as a bad loss last night. But, in the NBA, you just sometimes you lose games like that against teams that are shorthanded. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We are at High Corbett Field. Dark clouds are starting to descend on us. Hopefully, I don't know what the radar looks like. I might have to pull up the radar here and see if it looks like there might be some rain in the offing, or if these are just dark clouds that we're dealing with here this afternoon. But I don't see any. Well, yeah, no, I don't see any rain in the forecast for today. So hopefully that's going to steer clear of us, and we'll have baseball coming up here at 6 o'clock tonight between the Wildcats and New Mexico State. I want you to hear from a few more of your Arizona Wildcats. Anthony Susak is expected to start today. Anthony has struggled, though, in 5 appearances, no wins, 1 loss, ERA 9.82. In 11 innings, he's allowed 12 runs earned, 21 hits allowed in 11 innings. He has walked 3, struck out 10. Opponents are batting .396 against him. Now, if you were with us earlier, our conversation with head coach Chip Hale, we talked about his new pitching regime that he has here. He brought in Kevin Vance, assistant coach who was at Boston College. He also brought in John DeRowan, a director of player development who focuses on the pitching side. Anthony Susak, although has struggled, really likes the staff that they have this season for Arizona.
I would tell you in my 3 years here, this may not be the most talented pitching staff that we have, but it's definitely, I think, the best pitching staff, the deepest pitching staff, and we've been really well developed. I think we lost a few big arms from last year's roster, TJ, May, Barraza. Those are 3 extremely talented arms with high-level stuff. And I think this year, like I said, we may not be the most talented roster on paper, maybe not the most raw talent, but I think Vance and John have really found a way to get the most out of every single guy, find the best version of every single guy. And 100%, I think this is the deepest pitching staff that we've had in 3 years. And like I said, it's awesome to know that whoever one of us can hand the ball off to, that you have faith in the next guy. And I think we're really going to get the job done this year. But, yeah, you can go out there and give everything you got for 5-6 innings, maybe even longer, maybe shorter, who knows. But whoever you hand it off to, it's a guy with good stuff. It's a guy that can get out of any situation, and they're going to compete for us.
Jackson Kent has been the primary pitcher on Friday nights. He's 2-1 in 6 starts with a 2.70 ERA. He has been very, very good for this ball club, having allowed just 2 home runs in 36 and 2/3 innings with 39 strikeouts in those 36 and 2/3 innings. You might recognize the name of one of the starters, the guy that's primarily been getting the ball on Saturday nights for Arizona, and that is Clark Candiotti. That's right, Clark Candiotti, the son of Tom Candiotti. Tom Candiotti pitched for a number of years, I think like around 16 years in the big leagues. He is a color analyst on the radio for the Arizona Diamondbacks and has been for quite a long time. Clark Candiotti discussed the new pitching philosophy this year. This is his first season with the Wildcats after transferring over from Wichita State.
They like the capabilities with using the breaking ball in all counts, and they made a lot of adjustments to kind of the way we attack hitters and pitch design, like using the curveball more effectively in certain counts and chasing more vert on the fastball instead of more run, and that's made a big difference in my game.
And the other day, the analytics guys put out a video of all the swings and misses from one of your outings.
Do you feel like that's something you're capable of doing anytime you're out there?
I think so, yeah. I'm really confident in my stuff right now and taking the same game plan out to the field every time and just following through with my plan.
What was the pitch that got most of the swings and misses?
For the most part, it was a slider and then fastball as well.
Has your velo changed at all since you've been here?
It's gone a couple ticks up from the fall and out of the spring. Low to mid-90s.
Clark Nicholas Candiotti, and it is spelled Nicholas as in Jack Nicklaus, the legendary golfer, Nicklaus. Again, his dad, Tom, pitched with the Brewers, the Indians, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers, the A's. I can remember a college summer in, I want to say 1986. I went home to Cleveland and watched Clark Candiotti's dad no-hit the Yankees for 7 innings before a guy by the name of Mike Easler, a left-handed outfielder, broke up that no-hitter. But Clark Candiotti has been a lot of places. This is actually his 5th school since he left Scottsdale Chaparral. He started his college career at St. Mary's back in 2020. Vernon College in 2021, went to Grayson County Community College. I have no idea where that is. And then Wichita State last year, and now Arizona this year. Clark Candiotti on his college journey.
Unexpected and a little crazy. It's obviously 5th school in 5 years, and I didn't think it would happen, but I mean, it happened for the best reasons. And I couldn't be more blessed to experience everything.
How did you pick whatever your first school was, and like how did those steps all kind of happen?
Well, I signed out of high school to St. Mary's College in California, and it was kind of the best fit for me at that point. And then it wasn't really the right fit anymore after my sophomore fall, and I went to junior college because the D1 to D1 rule, you couldn't sit out. That wasn't there. So I went to junior college out in Vernon, Texas, and there was about 4,000 people out there. And then played the spring of 21, and then our coach got fired, and then I had nowhere to go, so I went to another junior college in the same conference, Grayson College, and then committed to Wichita State that March of the spring, and then graduated from Grayson College, and then played last year at Wichita, and then everyone got fired there, and then portal once again, so here I am.
Is this the closest that you've been to your family?
Yeah, it's very nice. I mean, it's nice being home, being back in Arizona, and it's a good place to be for last year of college.
Your dad either was or became a knuckleball pitcher. Is that something that you ever thought about? Did he ever try to?
Not me, no. My brother, yeah, but my dad always threw knuckleball just growing up, and he threw it competitively in all levels, but I never tinkered with it at all.
Probably don't need to. Clark Candiotti in 33 innings has struck out 39. So he's, again, you look at this starting staff for the Arizona Wildcats, and you've got some guys with good strikeout numbers, and they've kept the walks down. I mean, this is a team that, as a total staff, has struck out 199. They've walked just 63 in 189 in a third inning. So the pitching has been there. I mean, it's an ERA of 4.52. They've had some issues in the bullpen this year. That's probably been the one thing. Dawson Netz has struggled this season. He's a guy that has obviously been there, and we know what he can do. His ERA is 9. He's worked 4 innings. Brandon Zastro was another guy we saw quite a bit last year. He has had some struggles with an ERA of 8.22, and we mentioned Anthony Susak, who will start tonight with an ERA of close to 10. I mean, if you could get some of those veteran guys to kind of get back on track, the Wildcats should definitely have a chance to maybe potentially put themselves back into this Pac-12 race. And I mentioned, right now they're in 7th place. It's kind of a stack there with USC and UCLA, who are both 4 and 5. I mean, you've got a team coming up against the Bruins here. If you need to get 2 out of 3, no question, this weekend. And then you've got a pretty decent Washington State club at home. So you've got you got to go to California, which is never an easy place to play. Then you got Washington State here at home, Washington State and Washington. Wildcats got to start stacking some W's for sure if they want to have a chance to potentially put themselves back into any type of NCAA conversation without.
How's your knuckleball?
My knuckleball that was never anything I tried. I think I maybe tried to throw it twice in American Legion, but yeah, I never could get the feel for it.
That's not easy.
No.
I think I remember the heyday of the knuckleball in the 80s and 90s where there was guys actually throwing it still, and it's always so impossible, because of the unpredictability. But I've always heard it's one of the tougher things to get down.
No question about it. No question about it. Because you don't really feel like you have a great grip, and it's the ball just kind of moves. You got to kind of put it, the arm angle, you got to kind of put it in the right place to get it to float back over the plate for a strike. Definitely not easy at all to throw a knuckleball. That's why you don't really see. I mean, it's interesting that back in the 80s and the 90s, you had a number of guys that were doing it. I mean, there were probably 5 to 7, 10 guys in the league were throwing knuckleballs. I don't know that there's a guy that throws a knuckleball at all now. In Major League Baseball.
I haven't heard even the term knuckleball used in Major League Baseball in a while.
Yeah.
In a minute.
I mentioned Grayson County College. I had no idea where that was, but that's in Denison, Texas. So that's where Grayson County College, where one of the many stops for Clark Candiotti on his baseball journey. All right, we had a chance in the last segment, if you were with us, we were talking to Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. And one of the reasons we were talking to them is because they have got a sweet deal that is coming up for you this Friday. Sweet deal. WildcatsRadio1290.com. That's our website. 8:30 a.m. How about this? A $50 gift certificate for just $25. All right, so head on over to our website Friday morning. These are going to go quick, folks, so make sure you get one. A sweet deal. $50 gift certificate for just $25. Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. Again, locally owned and operated. We talked to Sergio Pignon and Rory Martin earlier this hour. That interview will be back up on our website here shortly. J-Dub always has those things up very quickly.
It's up.
It's up. See, there you go. J-Dub's already got it up. So if you missed that interview, head on over to our website right now and check it out. 100% in scratch-made comfort food and craft cocktails, all made in-house using high-quality ingredients. Lots of attention to detail. Their menu was born from a love of the classics, smash burgers, chicken wings, and tacos, but they prepare theirs using inventive chef-driven twists that include flavors ranging from Southern, Sonoran, Caribbean, and more. This is a destination for both lunch and dinner outings. Families can come for celebrations. It's a great place to catch the Wildcats against Clemson coming up on Thursday night. An array of televisions in a lively bar area, plus a patio open, garage doors. I love places with garage doors. I love the garage door concept. They've got all of that at Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. It's a sweet deal coming up on Friday, 8:30 a.m., WildcatsRadio1290.com. You can get a $50 gift card, a gift certificate, for just $25 to check it out. So please head on over there and don't miss out on that opportunity on Friday.
What was your question you asked me earlier? About restaurants?
Oh, what I was saying is I know as someone who worked in the restaurant industry, I'm sure you understand the difficulty of starting a place like that and getting it up off the ground. They've only been open since mid-December.
Yeah, no, of course. And obviously, not to go into a long diatribe, but that's the perfect idea because DK, and we lived in processed universe. Like everything is processed these days. So scratch just means going back to that, Italian grandma style. You go and pick out the freshest produce and you pick out, whatever protein you're trying to do and you make it all from scratch. I mean, that's how I cook. So, I mean, any place that their whole goal and their business model is to, build their menu from scratch, everything they can. And then obviously sourcing local tortillas from local companies and whatnot. I'm all about that.
So yeah, we've got dark clouds and we just saw thunder. So that's not a good thing. There could be storms coming in here So we are going to let Cricket get you home with traffic. Cricket will also have weather. In fact, we maybe bring Cricket back in the next segment just to maybe get a further weather update here. We may eventually have to potentially make a move here with the weather kind of turning bad out here. We're supposed to play baseball here in about an hour and a half. But dark clouds and thunder. Thunder in March. We don't necessarily get that. I thought I saw a flash not too long ago. I was waiting to hear the thunder, and we definitely did hear it. All right, Cricket getting you home with your traffic and your weather every 20 minutes on the fives.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Campbell and Speedway traffic signals malfunctioning at Speedway in Campbell. Got busy.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We've got fans and stadium employees who are starting to come here to the ballpark. Hopefully the rain comes off. Just looking at the radar here, it looks like most of this rain is still a little bit to the north. In fact, it looks like it might be pouring up by where I live in the Catalina foothills around Sunrise and Swan and that area there. It's starting to get very windy here at High Corbett Field. We are scheduled to play baseball here at 6 o'clock between Arizona and New Mexico State. So we'll have to keep you abreast of what's going on in terms of that. We'll keep you abreast of the weather here. Obviously, Randolph Golf Course is in the background. You can see some folks out there that are playing golf, but it is really starting to get windy here at High Corbett Field, and folks are kind of starting to scramble for cover and cars and all of that. We may, in fact, be making a move here very shortly as well to maybe get into a little bit of a more friendly position. If in fact we do get some rain, so stay with us on that. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Again, it is also the first day of Arizona spring football as the Brent Brennan era has begun here at the University of Arizona. The guys were out on the field at 3:45 over on campus for their first official practice of the Brent Brennan era. We had a chance to catch up with a number of the coaches last week, including Dino Babers, who is the new offensive coordinator here for the Arizona Wildcats. And the big prevailing question for Dino Babers has been, what is this offense that was so prolific last year when Jed Fish was the head coach? What is this offense going to look like now with him in charge of it?
The most important thing is that you need to do what they're capable of doing. And if anything they have an expert in, a skill in, we will definitely exploit that to the best of our ability.
How would you? Is there a way to describe the offense that you're going to be running?
I just answered that. I'll try that again. We're going to try to do what's best for the players.
Why do you think the 98 offense was as good as it was?
It had a lot of NFL players on it. You go back and look at how many names on the 98 offense is inside that stadium, and you'll know exactly why it was that good. It starts with the players, okay? The coolest thing a coach can do is when you got some really good players is don't mess it up, okay? It's not about the coaches, it's about the players. And you put those guys in a situation to be successful.
Did you want to get right back in? I mean, was there a thought at all, maybe I'm going to just step back and reassess, and what made this the right opportunity to get right back in?
I had a lot of people contacted me. I talked to a lot of coaches, and all that stuff was on the table. But when Coach B got this job and Coach Brennan got this job and he made that call, I want to make sure that he gets off to a fast start here. I want him to be here forever. And the fastest way to do that is to be successful and get him into his next contract. And when you get him into his next contract, if he gets one more after that, he'll be good to go. So my whole thing is him and making sure that he gets a good foundation to get started on here.
Did you ever imagine, back in '98 that all of you, or in 2000, all of you would be at this point in your careers right now?
No, but once again, it talks about Coach Brennan. I mean, you guys, we're not here for a lot of the other things. Now, Coach Brennan, along with the memory of Coach Tomey and what he did at this program, I mean, that's the reason why a lot of guys are back here. And we really do enjoy being in Tucson. I mean, I love this place. We didn't have to learn the fight song now. We already knew it by heart.
Was there ever a time that you interviewed for the head coaching job here?
No. See, if you're going to ask a military kid a direct question, you get a direct answer. Yeah, no.
Were you ever interested when you were at other stops?
You're always interested in the University of Arizona.
Why is that?
Because it's the University of Arizona. You're always interested.
Were there any attributes Bobby showed as a player that would translate to him being a good coach?
Here's here's the thing. Some really good players can become coaches, and some really good players can never be a coach. And Bobby was one of those guys you had to see where he was going to grow up. He had all the personalities of those really good players that could not be a coach, but it was how he was going to mature. It wasn't about being smart enough and sharp enough. It was how he was going to mature. And the way he matured is excellent. When the first time I got an opportunity to sit down with him as a member of the staff, I was like, wow, how much he's grown. Not necessarily in football, X's O's, but his maturity, being a father and a husband and a leader. And I think we got a really good one here. I think he's going to be in this business for a long time.
When it was announced that you were taking the Arizona job, what did you hear from in terms of your former players from that '98 team? Text messages, congratulations. What was that like, getting those?
It was positive. It was extremely positive. It's always a good feeling. Those guys know me, and they know what we represent and how we're going to do it. And I think they believe we're going to do it the right way.
How have you quickly assessed your offense, this roster, the talent that you have?
I haven't been able to assess it yet, except for on tape. We're going to get an opportunity this spring to get out there and see exactly what we can and what we cannot do, and from there we'll be able to grow.
When you say you're going to take your players and find the right spots, have you identified things, though, in looking at the tape about, Noah, T-Mac, and their skill sets?
So here's the thing. When you watch the tape, you're watching what someone else told them to do. What I want to do is I want them to see them to practice and see where we can move to. And, you just like in your normal education, I like to use analogies. You have your undergraduate degree, you got your master's degree, and you got your doctorate degree. And I want to see what degree they have, and then see what degree we can move them to.
When you talk about that military background, are there elements of that in your coaching style?
Yeah, I like to be black and white. I think there's right and wrong, and I think there's good and bad. And I'm not naive. I think there's a lot of gray in the world. You and I know about it. There's a lot of gray in the world, but you try to stay away from the gray because there is gray. So you try to keep it black and white, knowing that here comes that gray. And then, as Mama used to say, hopefully they can use a little CS. Okay, you know what that is, right? Common sense. There you go. You're the man. And based off of that, we'll do the right thing.
All right, that was Dino Babers, the new offensive coordinator for your Arizona Wildcats, your old offensive coordinator as well. He was here a number of years ago, although I'm not sure. I have to double-check on that. I'm not sure if he was the offensive coordinator the last time or at any point before that, but he is now coming off a season. And a very interesting thing about this coaching staff for the Arizona Wildcats is you've got two guys, one in Dino Babers on the offensive side of the ball, one in Danny Gonzalez on the defensive side of the ball, and he was indeed the offensive coordinator back in 1988 through 2000. On the, of course, the '98 team, that the best team in the history of the Wildcats at 12-1. But you've got two guys that were head coaches last year in Division I. You've got Dino Babers, who was the head coach at Syracuse. You've got Danny Gonzalez, who was the head coach at New Mexico, and he is your linebackers coach now on the defensive side of the ball. So some very veteran minds here on this coaching staff to lead Brent Brennan into his first season here as the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats. JW, you can't beat that type of experience around a young, and again, he's not a first-year head coach. He's been a head coach now in Division I college football for about 7 years with his tenure at San Jose State. But never hurts to have that type of experience around you when you make this jump to your first Power 5 job.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the track record of most coaches coming from I don't want to say lower level, but coming up, you can judge based on the hiring, right, DK? You can judge based on who they tend to surround themselves with. And clearly with Coach Babers, we just heard they're a wealth of experience. So, yeah, I mean, Coach Brennan is surrounding himself with a lot of guys who have a voice, have a lot of experience, and have a lot of things to say. So it's definitely shaping up to be an incredible staff. The more experience, the better.
So we are out at High Corbett Field. There is rain all around us, but there is not rain yet on top of us here. Just, again, looking at my Storm Tracker 4 radar here from News 4 Tucson, my old stomping ground. We've got, looks like it's raining literally on the other side of Elcon Mall, but it is not yet raining here in the Randolph complex, the Reed Park complex here. So perhaps we'll stay dry, perhaps not. we'll continue to look. It looks like most of the rain is coming in from the north. People are still arriving here for this game that will take place here tonight between Arizona and New Mexico State. We definitely hope to get in baseball this evening. We'll see if we can maybe get a more extensive outlook of what to expect for you here if you are coming down to the ball game here tonight. I don't know. The temperature feels like it has also dropped a few degrees since it got a little bit more windy here in the last half hour. Right now it's showing 61 degrees. Feels maybe a little bit chillier than that. It is scheduled to be around 60 degrees at first pitch tonight, which is coming up at 6 o'clock. Anthony Suzak scheduled to be on the bump for your Arizona Wildcats as they look to get back to closer to 500. Wildcats coming in tonight with a record of 10 and 12. Also, we talked yesterday with the head coach of the U of A track and field program, and that is, of course, the outstanding Fred Harvey. And a couple of honors to his players came out today in terms of Pac-12 weekly honors. The Pac-12 Conference named Travion White-Austin as the Men's Track Athlete of the Week, and Sir Jonathan Sims, who Fred Harvey talked about, is your Men's Field Athlete of the Week. Travion White-Austin out of Saguaro High School. He made Arizona history this past weekend, breaking Michael Bates' 33-year-old school record in the 100 meters, running a 10.14. The previous record held by Bates was 10.17. Bates, of course, an Olympian who went on to play professional football for the Carolina Panthers.
Amphi.
Yeah, Amphi High
School. Went to Amphi. Yeah, all the Bates.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that Fred Harvey pointed out, that this is a record now that has been broken by two young men from Tucson. And you often hear how there's no speed here in Tucson. Well, those two young men have told you that occasionally we do get some speed down here in Tucson. Maybe 30 years apart, but we got some. And so congratulations to Travion White-Austin. We're efforting to have him on the program a little bit later in the week. White-Austin now holds school records in the outdoor 100, the indoor 60, and the indoor 200. So he has 3 school records. Those 2 indoor records he set this past indoor season. This is his second career Pac-12 weekly award. He also got one last year as a part of that 4x100 relay team that also broke a long-time school record in that category. On the other hand, Sir Jonathan Sims, a sophomore from Richmond, Virginia, he claimed his first victory in the long jump, a personal best leap of 7.97 meters, and that's 4th all-time in Arizona school history. So congratulations to Sir Jonathan Sims and Travion White-Austin, both Pac-12 track and field athletes of the week for your Wildcats. A tremendous honor, and that men's team ranked 4th right now in the nation. So the Wildcats, I'll look that up to see exactly who are the 3 teams in front of them. I can guarantee you one of them is probably Florida, because that's generally how the Florida Gators roll. It's one of the best track programs in the country. But your Arizona Wildcats men's track team right now ranked number 4 in the country. All right, we are going to reset here and kind of hang and see if this weather holds. We may have to move indoors or into another location. We'll kind of keep you abreast on that. We've got 1 hour left of the show. Still more to come. We'll let you hear from Dwayne Aquina in the next hour as well. He is the defensive coordinator on staff last year, came on staff as a defensive assistant due to an injury to Ricky Hundley. Last year, he was supposed to have an off-field role when Ricky Hundley could not fulfill all of his coaching duties. Dwayne Aquina was moved into an on-field role, helped Johnny Nansen revamp that defense into one of the better units we've seen here in recent years. And now he is going to be the defensive coordinator in the first season of Brent Brennan. You'll hear from Dwayne Aquina as well. The evolution of Swarm. If you ever wondered where the the whole concept of the legendary Desert Swarm came from. Dwayne Aquina will explain that to you coming up in the next hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden is here. Cricket is here as well. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Slowing, Ajo and Mission, also on southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. Also usual busy traffic at the southbound I-19 frontage road at Irvington. And we've got collisions reported Irvington west of I-19, also a crash Valencia west of I-19. Campbell and Speedway, traffic signals malfunction.